Hey everybody, welcome back to Bookish Daddy. Today we're going to be going over your unpopular bookish opinions. Man, I am somewhat excited for this. A little nervous about what you all have to say. That being said, it is going to be anonymous, but just remember, I know who you are. You reached out to me. I am going to judge you, and look, I'll come for you. I'm going to DM you and let you know that this is nonsense if it is. Yeah, I hope y'all have been enjoying the videos. If you have, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And comment below, for real, your unpopular book opinion, because these always blow my mind. Whether they line up with like what I'm thinking, or if they're like way out there, or if it's just not so unpopular. I don't know. I enjoy reading them and kind of seeing where your thought process is and where your thoughts align. This is one of my favorite little challenges to watch on Booktube. So I'm pretty excited to do it. Let's get into it. The first one is books are for reading. Owning several editions of the same book makes no sense. I sort of agree. So to a point, we do have a lot of books that we have multiple copies of, and at some point you're like, yeah, we've got 3 copies or 2 copies or whatever it may be. I kind of get that. Uh, but I don't 100% agree, because also if it's a book I absolutely love and a beautiful special edition comes out that like commemorates it well, maybe it has character art or beautiful sprayed edges that kind of go with the theme of the book, I have no issues owning more than one copy of that. Uh, I get where you're coming from. They are for reading, but also I've gotten to the point where we kind of collect them too. So if it is a beautiful book and the artwork is extremely good, I have no issues with it being on my bookshelves, making it look really pretty. And we look through those books. It's not like they just sit there forever. And you could even use them for pictures or whatever it is you want to do with them. Uh, yeah, I don't 100% agree with that one. I do know that they're for reading, but you could say that about really anything, that Pokemon cards are for trading and not to like laminate them and put them on your wall. Like, I mean, that would be with anything that has good artwork. Uh, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that one. Next is I'm not a fan of sprayed edges. Again, I don't know if that's unpopular. I've been hearing that a lot lately. A lot of people are saying that because there are so many sprayed edges now, they're not as like rare and special, which I understand. But at the same time, you can look at my bookshelves. I love sprayed edges. So I mean, I disagree with that one too. But more power to you. If you want all the like plain white pages and you don't want any like sprayed edges or anything crazy on your books, there's nothing wrong with that either. I mean, I think that's kind of user preference, especially if it's a book you're going to be reading. A lot of these like hardback sprayed edges are for looks. I bought them because they were beautiful or pretty or they're fairy loot. Uh, you typically don't buy sprayed edges to read unless it's paperback. But yeah. Next is Way of Kings is overrated. Boy, I bet a bunch of people are gonna come at that one. So I don't want to say overrated. I'll give my 2 cents. I have only done the audiobook of The Way of Kings, and I have attempted it twice. The first time I finished it years and years ago. The second time I got about halfway through. And so I do not have a fair interpretation of the book. I will say, for an audiobook, holy crap, is it a lot of listening. It was like 40 hours. So a whole work week of listening. And it's just so hard to pay attention for that long to someone else. But before I agree with you or disagree with you, I need to physically read the book. But yeah, I can't really give a fair assessment of that. Next, oh, this one is for sure filthy. The Throne of Glass reading order does not matter at all. I read Assassin's Blade last. 100% disagree. I think the Assassin's Blade should be the first book read in the order, and to say it doesn't matter that's wild to me. Like, I can understand if you don't, if because I do have friends that like go to the back of a book and read spoilers first to make sure they want to read a book, which to me is like, I can't comprehend doing that. Same with this. I cannot comprehend reading books out of order. And especially for that one, like I am a big fan of Assassin's Blade first, so I completely disagree with you, and I will come at you later. Onyx Storm is a mess express and should not have gone to print. Yeah, I agree. Onyx Storm was, I hate to even say it felt almost AI generated. Some of the stuff in it did not make sense. It was out of place. There were things, the whole thing was a mess. Coming from Fourth Wing, which was one of my favorite books I had read that year, to what Onyx Storm was, oh my goodness, I agree. It should not have gone to print. Too many books are being adapted. Do they not have any original ideas anymore? Uh, I don't know that I agree with that. I mean, I don't, I don't guess I've seen a lot of that. I have seen uh, remastered or like changing the book a little bit. For instance, like taking Mulan but making her evil, or taking Cinderella but she never gets with Prince Charming. I have no issues with that. I think it's cool to take something we all know and love and twist it a little bit, or even make it more adult, or make it just different aspects of the same book. So I don't really have a problem with that, and I can't think that it's been done more recently than in the past, but I could be wrong. Emily Henry is not as great as everyone thinks she is. I'm not a very good judge for this one. I've only read one book. It was okay. I think I gave it 3 stars. Uh, I'm not going to say she's not that great because I haven't read enough of her work, but I'll throw that out for everyone in the comments. Y'all can let me know what you think of Emily Henry. Let's see. The only part of a book that needs to look good is the spine. Everything else is hidden once they're shelved. Ooh, I'll agree with that. However, I'll bet my wife disagrees. So when we're buying books, she likes to make sure everything is like perfect, which I do get. You're paying good money for it, a lot of money for it in most instances. These books have gotten $20, $30 a piece. You want to get what you're paying for. Uh, but throughout time, if something happens to my book, as long as it's not the spine, I don't really care, especially if it's a paperback. So yeah, I agree with that. Hyped books are not worth your time. At least the romantasy ones aren't. Um, that's hit or miss. That's really dependent on the book, because there are some hyped books I have read that fell short. Onyx Storm being a great example. That one was blown out of the water. I was hyped for it, and dude, it just missed the mark. However, there are books that were like super hyped up. Prime example would be Hunger of the Gods by John Gwynne. I had heard a lot of hype, a lot of people saying it was in their top 10. A lot of the booktubers I follow like just hyped it up almost to a level I didn't think it could reach, and it was freaking phenomenal. I'm about to finish the third book, and it is one of the best series I've ever read. So I'm not going to agree with you. I do know there are some books that are overhyped, but I won't say like all of them aren't worth it. Do not like hardcovers and sprayed edges. Do not like green eggs and ham is what that made me think of. Uh, I disagree. I love hardcovers and sprayed edges for looking. I do not like them for reading. Only paperback books. Uh, so yeah, I disagree with you. Do not speed read. Just enjoy the story. That, I don't know how controversial that is. I think a lot of people lean towards enjoying the story. But if they don't, I would agree with you. I don't think that you should speed through a book just to have numbers at the end of the year. Now that I say that out loud, I guess there are a lot of people that just try and build their Goodreads accounts to have 100, 200, these crazy numbers of books at the end of the year. Whereas I sit around 50 to 75 a year, but I try and stick with books I thoroughly enjoy. Uh, so yeah, I'll agree with that. Make sure you take your time, enjoy the story. I mean, if you're competitive and you just want numbers, go ahead and speed read, but it's just not for me. Next, Neuromancer is confusing. I do not know what that is, so I agree. It is very confusing. I hate, will not read, why choose? Uh, Yeah, that's an odd concept to me. I've read one, and it was very strange. I'll agree with that. It's a very weird concept for a book to like not have to choose. I know polygamy is out there, but it's I don't know. It's weird to me. I don't understand it. So same with the books. I don't understand not wanting to like choose a person and just you know you do your thing. Next is it is okay to write in books in ink while you read. I disagree. Even if you own the book and you want to annotate it, I don't like it. So that's where I'm at with that. I don't like writing in books with ink. It bleeds through, it ruins the pages. I don't know. I hate the thought of it. It makes me sick to my stomach to picture someone like writing in all of my books with ink or in your books with ink. Same with like, uh, what's it called? Folding the edges of your pages instead of using a bookmark. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of stuff like that. The number of special edition a book gets nowadays is ridiculous. I do agree. I love special editions. I think there should be a special edition for like books that blow up. I think that's cool, but it is getting ridiculous. Some of these books have 4, 5, 6 special editions that are all a little different, and it kind of gets to be a money grab. And I'll throw this in there. What bothers me, I'm not going to say any like authors or books specifically, but there are some people who will do multiple special editions, but each one has a surprise chapter in it, all differing. So you would have to buy every special edition to read all the different like endings or all the different like special chapters. That's getting ridiculous. It's a money grab and it's really aggravating. So yeah, I agree. It is getting out of hand. Romance novels should not always have a happily ever after. I agree with that. I think it's fun every once in a while to throw in an ending where you don't see something like that coming. I will say though, that book is getting some stars taken off if I'm reading it. Like, I don't know, it sounds like a cool concept to throw that in there, but if my main character that I love at the end doesn't get a happily ever after, I'm probably gonna be pretty salty. I'm not like, what would that be, a sadist or a masochist? What is it? Where you enjoy like pain? That's not my thing. Uh, Readers can be the most judgmental people. Yeah, I mean, 100%. The book community has been super awesome towards me. I have had a great time getting to know all of you, built a really good community so far of like awesome people. At the same time, I see some of the comments in these other channels. I see some of the people going back and forth, the canceling of authors, of uh, all kinds of craziness, hating on people because of the way they read, what they read, how many special editions they have. I mean, anything they can think of to like belittle, berate, take stars off on Goodreads. It's out of hand. So luckily for me, you're all pretty awesome. I haven't had to deal with it, but I do see it out there, and people need to quit being so judgy. I do not like Brandon Sanderson. However, I'm going to judge this person. So I love Brandon Sanderson. If you don't, it actually is pretty cool. Whatever floats your boat. If you don't like him, I love Brandon Sanderson. His world building's phenomenal. I love it. Has a YA feel to it. It's not like filthy and grimy feeling when I read his books. Huge fan. I don't think there are many books I don't like. And like I said, Way of Kings doesn't really count because I had to listen to it and I want to give it a fair chance. I do not like long series. I prefer duologies or trilogies. I agree. And this, I'm going to throw this in there too. This may be why Kingdom of Ash was so low rated for me. I gave it 4 stars. 8 books into a series, I was pretty over it. Even though I was enjoying each individual book, it was killing me mentally to like spend that much time, effort, and like it felt so monotonous to never finish a series. My wife's giving me a thumbs down in the corner. But yeah, I love duologies and trilogies and even standalones. They make me feel accomplished. I like to be able to like, uh, when I get to the second book, know I'm halfway there. I'm enjoying it, and 3 books to me is a good wrap up of a series. Those that like ACOTAR, Throne of Glass, some of these huge series, boy, they get, same with Brandon Sanderson. That's kind of why I read the first trilogy of Mistborn and then just didn't pick up the rest. I don't want to read 9 books about the same thing. It's not my thing. I hate Happy Place. I can't agree or disagree. I have not read it, but I'll take your word for it. I think long books in a long series turn some people off from reading. Yeah, I agree. I mean, like I just said, if you have a huge series and on top of that, they're not all novellas or normal sized books, they're huge. I think a lot of people are intimidated by that. They're not going to read it. I don't know how unpopular that opinion is, though. If an author uses AI on their book cover, I don't read it. It's lazy and inauthentic. Ah, I don't know about that one. Uh, I want to say I agree just because there are a lot of like struggling artists out there, especially smaller artists who would do it affordably. It's not like you couldn't. Um, so yeah, I'll agree with that. It is sad to see so many people not able to put their art on stuff or have a job or get a chance at it because AI is just so easy, fast, and you just type something in and it's generated. I'm tired of authors' names written initials, surname, like J.R.R. Tolkien, etc. It's a strange one to be upset about. Or not upset about, but like to notice. I've never noticed that before. Like, obviously, I have seen these people's names, but I've never thought about that before. I'm sure now I'll start like noticing it on books, but I don't I don't agree or disagree. I just think that's a funny one to like point out. All action conflict with no breaks is burdensome. I think if it's not done properly, yeah, I would agree. But I've read some short books that are action thrillers that from the minute you open it to the second you close it, it's like fast paced. But the book's only 75 to 100 pages long, and you know what you're getting into. So I'll disagree and say some of them, it's worth it to like just have a crazy fast paced book, and it doesn't have to like have breaks in it. There is a point where too much smut ruins the story. It should just be labeled erotica. I 1,000% agree. I like smut in my books, uh, so I think I can have some say in this. When I am reading a book, if it is like, I'll say 80-20 is my limit. If it's like 80% smut, I'm not going to read it. Like, and if I do read it, I'm wanting to read erotica. Like, that is what it is. Yeah, so I agree. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that. They think it's not, and I don't, if you want to read that, I could care less. I just think that like too much smut and it is erotica. It's no longer fantasy or romance or anything like that. It is what it is. That was actually the last one. Thank you all so much for sending in your unpopular book opinions, or in some cases, popular book opinions, or just book opinions. I love doing videos like this to see where your heads are at, see what bothers you and what doesn't. Uh, I hope I did this video justice. I watched some of these other people and they seem super like articulate and able to like get their point across very well. I hope I did a decent enough job of like saying where I align and what was or wasn't what I agree with. Yeah, I hope you all have a great week. And if you think of anything else you want to throw in the comments for anything unpopular that bothers you or anything I said, just go ahead and throw in the comments and I try to reply to everything. Y'all have a great week.